written it myself. Like that was well done. All right,
Right?
I know that we've got limited time. This has got to be 200-ish webinars deep, maybe a little bit more since COVID started. And like I'm really like I've got super different thoughts today than I did in March and April, right? And you do too. And one of the things I wanted to say today was, and some of this, like some of this you already know, like some of this I believe that you know consciously or subconsciously. Some of these things you know in your gut or you know in your heart. And some of these things I'm going to say, you might be like, yep, I know that. I feel that, Cody. I'm in it, man. But it's just good to hear it. Uh, it's like this is your new norm. This is the way life looks. This is how life looks. And so many of us were waiting for something to change, something to lift, something to be different, like how to get through this. If you're still thinking how to get through this in your real estate business, you've missed what getting through this means. Like you've missed it. Like this is the norm. Your kids and my kids, depending on their age, may grow up in a country or a world where shaking hands is unheard of, where it would be a barbaric gesture to shake someone's hand. And I need you to see how big of a shift that is. I mean, you and I, we grew up in a culture where we were told a good, firm, strong handshake, look somebody right in the eyes, and so much of your body language in that handshake says who you are and how trustworthy you are. And none of that was untrue, but it might all be untrue tomorrow. There's an old saying that I could be one thought away from everything being different. And you are living in that right now. You're living in the idea that you're one thought from everything looking different. You're one play. You've got to hear me, realtor. You are one play from everything being different. You're one play from the whole business never looking the same. You're one play from never wondering where the next sale could be. You ever think of the life that way? Like you're one thought away from never having to think, where's that next listing going to be? Where's that next sale going to be? You could be one thought from never having to think. I mean, let's be real right now. From never having to think, I hope this deal doesn't have to extend. If you're a realtor and you've never gotten frustrated about a deal extending or pushed a deal to close a little bit before it should because you needed the money too, I've done it. Every realtor that's been around has had those thoughts. We've all been there. One thought away from everything being different. Gary was on a call with us. There was probably 8 of us on the call. And he said, blah, 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 blah. This was probably 8 weeks ago. He goes, blah, 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 for the next 2 or 3 years, blah, blah, blah. And I go, whoa, what the hell are you talking about? Stop the train, back it up just a little bit. What did you just say? And he goes, yeah, for the next few years. And I went, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, this is how life looks for the next few years. He goes, even if COVID were to be over tomorrow, he goes, we haven't even begun the economic turmoil that this creates. We haven't even started down that road yet. And you and I are in an industry. I need you to think for a second about life like this. In the 80s, some of you weren't even alive, but in the 80s, a stockbroker made money every time a stock changed hands. If you sold, they made money. If you bought, they made money. And it didn't matter if the stock was up or if the stock was down. They simply made money on trades. Now, if you look at history, E-Trade, Scottrade completely changed that whole industry. Today, nobody pays their stockbroker to buy or sell 25 shares of XYZ. Nobody does that. You're living in an era where as a realtor, you and I make money on the up and we make money on the down. 28 million homes in the month of July skipped a mortgage or rent payment. 28 million in our country. Now, some stats said 30 and some stats said 26. And so we picked the number in the middle. After all, 82% of all people believe statistics if you say them like you mean them. 28 million homes didn't pay a rent payment or a mortgage payment. You and I live in a world where everything we touch is 100 days out anyway, right? We start a new idea, a new campaign, some new PPC, we do this, we do that, and you and I are smart enough that we go, all right, we'll see how this looks in about 100 days. Like, we know that things don't tick off in one day or a week or 10 days. Like, you and I live in a world where we know that it's delayed gratification, which is one of the paradoxical foundational problems with us being a realtor, because you and I are cut from a similar cloth where we hate delayed gratification. Like, we want things right now, but everything we touch is 100 days out. So we've made peace with that. But the bad stuff is 100 days out too. You go 100 days past 28 million homes not paying a rent payment or a mortgage payment. What do you think that ends up meaning? The smartest people I know are already boning up on their skills, and I need you to brace yourself. Just sit tight. Already bracing themselves and getting boned up on the idea of a foreclosure market. For those of us that have been around long enough to have sold in the last foreclosure market, that should make you twitch a little bit. The idea of a short sale just kind of gives me these nervous ticks. Like, I lived through that market. I've been there. But you know what? I'm not afraid to go back. The thing that you and I know, someone had me on they were pulling me into a giant podcast with I don't know, tens of thousands of listeners. And they said, blah, blah, blah. We want you to come on here and tell people that this shift in the market has nothing to do and is nothing like the last one. And I said, stop right there, man. None of the shifts that have ever happened are like the last one, you bozo. Like, if you go back 80 or 100 years, every shift we've had has been from a different trigger. One shift was due to politics. One shift was due, the one that you and I know, the most recent, was due to lending practices. Another shift that you and I maybe didn't work through, some of you might have, was due to oil prices. Another one was due to war. They're never the same thing. It's always something different, always something different. So no shift, if you're taking notes, no shift looks like the last one. By the way, this one's worth writing down. You never prepare for the market that you're in because it's too late, baby. You only prepare for the market you're going in. It's too late to prepare for the market that you're living in. Too late. You're already in it, man. You only prepare for the market you're about to be in. And the moment of time that you're in right now, while the moment is going to shift, the economic recovery of it's not. You've got people right now, I mean, no political commentary, but the federal government's idea of flooding the street with money worked. The federal government's idea of putting money on the street and printing money for small businesses worked. The payroll protection loans, I mean, you've got businesses all over the country that up until like right now and for the next 30, 40 days have been paying their entire staff. And some of that staff isn't even coming to work. But they're paying them the money because if they don't pay it to the employee, it's not forgiven. Well, what do you think happens when that payroll loan runs out? If that business hasn't reopened or that type of business can't run full steam, do you think that the owner of the business says, cool, I'm just going to keep paying you? The answer is they can't. And you look at it like this. I mean, I don't know about where you live, but I live in Portland, Oregon, albeit a very liberal city and a very liberal state. But every state has a similar issue right now in that you've been drawing unemployment at the state level matched by the federal level. Now, Trump's administration this last week, because that money ran out, like in Oregon, if you were a minimum wage employee, you went on unemployment and got a pay raise, and you were pulling down $4,600 a month in unemployment. People that hadn't even smelled $4,600 a month. You need to understand these things because these have an impact on everything we touch. They have an impact on listings. What you have to break into right now, if you're picking up listings right now with people who want to sell, that's the most elementary base level of being a realtor today. Anybody can convert somebody who wants to sell. Anybody can convert somebody who goes, hey, I just got a job transfer. That's easy pickings. That's the low-hanging fruit, and you should go pick it. But you don't stop there. When you're done picking the low-hanging fruit, you climb the tree to the next level of fruit. The problem is most realtors never climb. They hang out at the bottom of the tree and they wait for things to fall. And it's kind of like playing golf. Have you ever played golf and you're not very good at it? It only takes one good shot once in a while to keep you coming back. And that's how real estate is for most realtors. They suck wind, suck wind, suck wind. Then they sell 2 homes in 1 month, make 17 grand. And they're like, wow. And they hang out for 6 more months. Gary told me something early on in my career, and it's worth you writing. He said, what you want to do if you'd like to succeed is look at what most realtors do, turn around and go do the opposite. And he said the reason for that is that most realtors live on minimum wage. Most realtors, I mean, the average realtor in the US last year made under $50,000. That's gross money, by the way. That's before paying a brokerage. That's before having splits. That's before paying taxes. That's the average realtor last year. So if you don't want to earn that, you can't do what they do. Here's my point by the high hanging fruit, the stuff you got to climb for. The term you need to write down is shadow seller. And the term means this: it's the sellers who are in the shadows that you can't even see yet. And many of them don't even know they're there. Many of them don't even realize it's about to be there, which means you go right back to a contact sport. Before COVID, BC, we used to be able to say things like, listen, if you make this many contacts, you call this type of person, you work on these types of prospects, over the course of time, you could expect this result, or this result. We don't know what that means today. Here's what I do know. I know that right now, you've got to be willing to work 2 and 3 times as hard as you worked prior to COVID for the same results. I need you to breathe. Just join the club and be okay with this. My group's working twice as hard for less result. Some days we feel like we're working 3 times as hard for the same result. I need you to breathe and just be okay with it. This is a portion of your career. This isn't just a year. This is a season. By the way, another one worth writing. As the seasons change, so does the gardener. So I need you to think, when's the last time? By the way, you're the gardener, right? Like, I love analogies, but I also have the education of a 9th grader. And so I need things to be explained to me. You're the gardener. When's the last time you changed as the gardener? When's the last time you did something different? When's the last time you did something for the first time? You've got so much opportunity right now during COVID as a marketeer that you won't have in 4 more months or 6 more months. It's going to go away. By the way, for the majority of the country, the fall market, we always have a back to school slump. It's just there. Like, it's that September slump for real estate. Then we usually have a tick up in October, and then it's usually fairly flat as an industry for November and December. I need you to write this down, and I need you to look at the number. It's 11 weeks. Write it down, 11 weeks, just write it. And when you look at it, I need you to realize you have 11 weeks left in 2020 to work, where the result still shows up this year. You got 11 weeks left. Time's not on your side. If there's a time in your career that time is working against you, you're in, you're living it. If you're not waking up early right now, you're doing this wrong. If you're not going to bed late right now, you're doing this wrong. If you're not pulling an extra couple of hours on a Sunday afternoon for your business right now, damn it, you're doing it wrong. You should feel a little tired right now. You should feel a little bit like, man, I'm burning the candle on both ends. You should feel right now when you go and have dinner with the family, or you hang out with your spouse and you have those coveted dates or those times, you should feel right now like, I really needed this. Like, I really, really needed this. Have you ever eaten when you're famished and you like walk into the kitchen, you open the fridge and you're not even sure what you eat? You just like start shoving food in. You're like, oh my gosh, I needed that so bad. That's how you should feel right now with any time off. If you're operating your business any other way currently, you're doing it wrong. Now, that's not the message you would have heard from me 12 months ago, but that is the message of the moment right now. And I need you to be okay with it. And the reason is none of us know what the hell we're doing. Like, just sit on that for a second. I don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what you're doing. Just own it, man. The moment you own it is the moment you're free from it. You're free from the clutches and the tyranny of having to know what you're supposed to. You don't know. When's the last time listen, about 100 webinars ago, and it must have been at the end of the day because I lost my patience, somebody was doing Q&A and they said something about blah, 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 but I'm new right now. And I freaking lost it. And I said, you idiot, we're all new right now. I said, which one of us, there was a few hundred people on the call. I said, which one of us could say, well, you know, the last time I ran a successful real estate sales business during a global pandemic, none of us can say that. We are all new. And you know what the greatest thing is about being new? You take risk. You're excited about things. You go, I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see what happens, man. Put the play in motion and let's check it out tomorrow. That's an amazing place to be, by the way. And that's what's so grand about the time that you're in. You don't get very many resets. I used to say on stage, I would say, listen, and I would find out like who in the room was seasoned or a veteran and who in the room was brand new, right? And I would think about how amazing it would be if the seasoned veterans could just go back with all the things they know today, just go back to the day they were brand new, right? And I've always kind of thought, wouldn't that be cool? You're in it. You're living in it. Our entire industry was one flip away from totally changing anyway. Then this happens. This is going to change it all. You need to be okay with that. You need to not be attached to how you get there. Like, does it really matter how you get in the end zone? Or does it really just matter that you get in the end zone? Some teams run the ball. Some teams love to throw it. Some teams love trick shots or trick plays. Some teams love a defensive. It doesn't matter. You still have to get the ball in the end zone. And that hasn't changed for you and I. By the way, before we went into this, the internet was completely turning upside down, our entire industry. And the way that you beat the internet is you become more human. And there's never been a better time. I mean, in the 20 years that I've done this, and I'm assuming in the years that you've done this, there has not been a moment in time that being human was more important. You're in it, man. Like the two scripts today for listings are how are you doing and what do you need? By the way, how are you doing 6 months ago was a throwaway term. Hey, Michael, good to see you. How you doing? And you just keep talking. You wouldn't even really answer each other. But today you say, how are you doing? And then you go 3 levels deep. And you ask somebody, how's the job going right now? If you'd ask somebody with that tempo in your dialogue, man, how's the job going right now? 6 or 8 months ago, they'd been like, get out of here. It's none of your business. I'm fine. But today the ego's gone. Today, people know that good people are losing jobs left and right. Good people are unemployed left and right. If you watch the stock market is killing it some days and getting killed others. It's way up, way down, way up, way down. And a lot of that's due to the jobless numbers. Like these companies hedge their bets based on employment numbers. And the employment numbers 10 days ago weren't as bad as we expected. However, the analysts are saying, well, yeah, but we got fake money on the street. We've got money that's drying up. What happens then? Think about restaurants right now that are open at a 50% capacity. Restaurant business is hard to turn a profit when you could pack the damn thing. What do you think's happening to our restaurant friends at 50% capacity? They're losing money to have the door open. But it's forgiven money because it's payroll. It's a big deal. Now, I say all that to say this. You've got some plays right now that don't work after COVID. Like if you just think for a second, I'll give you a couple of easy examples. It's your job to think where the play is. By the way, that second script, what are your needs right now? If you would have asked somebody, what do you need right now 6 months ago or 8 months ago, it'd have been a throwaway question. Today, it's not. Today, you could say, what are your needs? Today, you could say, is there anybody in your family or any of your friends who's been laid off? Who do you know that needs work right now? You know what I do? I talk to people all day, every day. And I might know someone who's hiring. If you would have sent out, I need you to hear the idea. If you would have sent out like a database touch 12 months ago with all the companies in your town that are hiring right now, it would have been a decent touch, but it would have been a throwaway touch. Today, it's not a throwaway touch. If you would have sent out, like if you would have called your database in February of this year and said, hey, I need you to know that Ralph's over here on this street, or do you guys have Vons or Vans? Which one is it that you have at the grocery store? It's Vons, right? Yeah, Vons. If you'd have said, hey, Vons or Ralph's or whatever grocery store you go to, in the Southeast, it's Piggly Wiggly, that's fine. But regardless, if you would have sent out like the hours for senior citizens to shop, it would have been a throwaway touch. It wouldn't have mattered. But if you call your database today and you say, hey, here's the 6 places that have reserved hours for those at risk or those that are senior or whatever, all of a sudden someone goes, oh my gosh, thanks. Like my mother-in-law needs to know this. I need to know this. Thank you. If you would have sent out a face mask, and this is how you need to realize how different everything is. If you just sent out a face mask in February with your real estate logo on it, they'd have thought, what in the hell are you thinking? What is wrong with you? You're a lunatic. You're nuts. But if you sent out a cloth face mask to every single person in your database today with your real estate logo on the side, somebody would go, thank you. I needed a spare one. I needed one because I hopped out of which one of us have not hopped out of our car got to the front door and went, ah, damn, and walked back to our car. We've all done it. We've all done it. Or been like, oh, I don't have one. And then you do the whole pull your t-shirt over your face thing. Like the whole thing's ridiculous. Whole thing's ridiculous. But the whole thing is reality. And that's where the money's made, is understanding, yes, it feels ridiculous, but it is the reality. By the way, Lacey's going to drop into the comment section for you a link and a name of someone that I know. This is where I get all my real estate signs from, by the way. So if you need new signs, this is your guy. If you tell him I sent you, he'll give you a great deal. But he's printing the cloth masks. And so you can get a great deal. He does them fast. You can buy them in bulk, 100, 200, 300, whatever you want. He'll take care of you if you use my name. But these are the plays that only matter right now. And they don't work in 6 months. And they certainly didn't work 6 months ago. These are right now plays, which I mean is this: you don't have time. Every single person in your database should be. One of our greatest ways of getting listings is contacting people and saying, listen, we've done some research on your real estate holdings. It appears your home is worth about blank. Now the blank, what I prefer is a little blue hyperlink. You never put the CMA or API as an embedded document. You wouldn't do that. You always drive them to another page that you can have eyeballs on. Now that's where you actually put the CMA or API, whatever you want to call it. I like calling them APIs, or absorption-based pricing indexes. If I had my way, everybody would leave this webinar and you would never utter CMA again. You would say API, absorption-based pricing index. Now, when you're confronted with one of the two, which one sounds more real? A CMA, comparative market analysis, or an absorption-based pricing index? The API sounds way more real. You and I know as realtors, they're the same thing. By the way, a good CMA uses absorption-based pricing as the crux that you actually price the home on. Because you might say, yeah, it was worth this 30 days ago, but none of them are selling right now. Like, you're a real estate agent. You're not an appraiser. You don't look in the past, you look in the future. Anyway, here's my point. I need you to be different. And if there was a time in your career for everything to look different, you're in it. One of the things that I did for a really long time was I just wanted to be different than all of my competitors. And it was based off a book I think you ought to go read. And the book's called Purple Cow. Seth Godin's one of my favorite marketeer authors. And the whole crux of Purple Cow, he was driving past a pasture. I know we only got 2 or 3 minutes left. He was driving past a pasture of cows and they all looked the same. And he thought, what if one of those damn cows was purple? And that was the only cow I saw in a whole sea of cows. I need you to be the purple cow in your business. If everybody uses those little sandwich boards for open houses, you don't. You use a tall A-frame. If everybody uses a white colonial sign, you don't. You paint yours a different color. You just look different. You and I know this. We know that realtors are not the same, but our database doesn't. They think we're kind of all alike. And you live in the land where you show people that you're different. You're going to be judged. Gary would tell you this. You're going to be judged today by how much you can give away in your business. You're going to be judged today by how big your heart is in your business. That also means how much work you're doing. If you were making 10 contacts a day before COVID, you might be at 30 or 40 contacts a day. You might be 60 or 80. By the way, are you living your dreams or are you living your fears? There's not much in between those two. And the one that you choose to live is going to dictate the life you live. One of the favorite questions I ask myself is this, and I believe that you're paid in proportion to the questions that you ask. My favorite question is, am I going to be glad I did or wished I had? Some of you are going to wish you had when it comes to what you did during COVID. I am convinced that Gary's going to be on stage with somebody. It won't be this year. At least it'll be digital this year. But he'll be back on stage with somebody next year or the year after, whatever that looks like. I've canceled over 70 70 in-person speaking engagements this year. Because you can't travel and speak. Like, I look at it and I go, when's the next time that I'll be able to be on stage and have 15,000 people in the room? Or even 1,500 or even 200. Like, we're still trying to figure out how to have a wedding with 70 people at it in a lot of states. Like, we are so far from those things happening, which means you pivot and do something different. Gary's going to be on stage with someone and he's going to be talking to her about how amazing her business looks. And she's going to say, during COVID, I did ABC. It worked so well, I never went back. The greatest thing to my real estate business was COVID. Are you going to be that person, or are you going to be the person in the audience going, huh, that's a cool idea? I promise you this, the person sitting on stage will not be smarter than you. They will simply have taken action you didn't take. They're not smarter. They're not better. They don't know more. Damn it, they are not better. But they might have better results. But result is tied to performance. And you got to look down and say, you know what? I am tired of complaining about the outcome I didn't earn. We all get what we deserve. And we don't get what we want. We get what our standards allow us to have. And if you want a bigger business, you got to raise the standards around it. By the way, was that true prior to COVID? Hell yes, it was true. Is it more apparent today? Hell yes, it's more apparent. Like, we're living in times, I mean, we don't know. If you sent out a touch to your, I know I got 1 minute left, I know, but if you sent out a touch to your database last year in August and said, hey, what are you guys going to do for school this year? They'd be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Let me take this call, baby.
Today, you can ask somebody, what are you guys doing for school this year? And it's a realistic conversation. Man, if you've got kids at home, you're wondering, what the hell am I going to do? Like, we all became homeschool teachers last year. Look at me. I am not cut out for a homeschool teaching job. It is not me. I'm good at a lot of things. That's not true. I'm good at a few things. That's not on the list. And then I thought, well, it's just going to be a long summer and then we'll go back to school. We're not going back to school in Oregon. It's not happening. I need you to think, where's my opportunity today? Last comment I'm going to make. Take whatever business plan you had this year and throw it away because it's irrelevant. You don't need an annual business plan. The only thing you need right now is a 90-day plan written in pencil, meaning everything is a negotiable. Everything could be erased. Everything could be changed. You don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work. You better be putting plays in right now that you're measuring at the end of the week going, I wonder how it went. Was it good? Was it bad? Do I keep doing it? Do I not do it? Our pay-per-click right now, our AdWords are through the freaking roof. You know why? Because there's 250% of the amount of people on Facebook looking at Facebook. Well, that means more opportunity for me. We pulled back our expenses over $70,000 a month in my real estate team back in March and April. If you don't think I felt that pinch, you're living on Mars. Of course I felt that pinch. By the way, when you cut expenses during this, it's always short term. It's not forever, it's just short term. It's for 2 months, 4 months, 8 months, 12 months. I don't know. In the course of your life, it's nothing. But the one thing that we've put more money back in, pay-per-click, because it's an easy win right now. It's like going to a slot machine that you know is going to pay you. It's 250% of the usage on Facebook. There's over 200% the amount of Google searches being done today than there was prior to COVID. People have more time on their hands. This isn't rocket science, which means it's easier to get leads, which means it's cheaper to buy them. Your PPC, your CPL, cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. You should be buying them. By the way, I've got a company, it's called Swift Hippo. Completely transparent, I own the company. So if you buy something from Swift Hippo, I win from it and I benefit from it. I created a seller lead generation program because forever internet leads have been buyer focused. I created the only one that I know of that is only seller focused. Go take a look at it. If you want to buy it, great. If you don't, learn something from it and go put it in place somewhere. You need the leads. You need them. And by the way, you need something that's driving leads when you're at an appointment. You need something that's driving leads while you're hanging out with your kids. Last comment I'm going to make, and I know I got a boogie. I know I'm 2 minutes late. Michelle, am I okay on time? Are you fine? Okay.
Fine, please. I just asked Lacey to put the information in the chat room.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Lacey will drop in Swift Hippo, and if you just use my name, they'll do the setup for free. By the way, if you're keeping track of your numbers, which is more important today than it's ever been, check out an app. It took me 4 years. It took me 4 years to get it out. It's called Hippo Pulse, like a heartbeat pulse. It's in the App Store, and for the 2 people that still use an Android, it's in that store too, so check it out. But it's $5 a month. It works like MyFitnessPal. It's always the Android user who sends me a message after. Everybody else just chuckles and keeps moving. But it's always the Androider that's like, I still use it. It has a great camera. Good for you. So what happens is this. Go check it out. It's like MyFitnessPal. You put in all of your numbers and you track it. It tells you exactly where you are. But like MyFitnessPal, you might not like some of the things that you see. It's like stepping on a scale. There's days in my life I walk by and don't get on. That doesn't mean that it's not reality. It just means I don't want to see it that day. My business doesn't have that luxury. As a human being, I wake up every day hoping that some late stage biochemical company is on the edge of some COVID shot. Whether it's going to be something you take beforehand or once you get it, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know those things. But I wake up every day hoping that some Monday morning it's going to be out there on the street, and hopefully it comes in the form of a taco and we all eat one and we never deal with this again. Like, as a human being, I can have hope. But as a business, I don't have the luxury of hope. Hope doesn't live in business. Hope lives in people. And I need you to be able to discern the two. The problem is you and I are real estate agents, which means we're solopreneurs, which means we toggle back and forth. Am I me today or am I a business today? Damn it, your business doesn't have a heart. Your business has a budget, a P&L, a mission statement, something you want to accomplish. It doesn't have a heart. It doesn't have a blood. It doesn't have any of that. Your body does. Understand the difference between the two. Your business has no room for hope. You don't have time on your side. The plays you got to make in your business, you got to do them right now. The best news about right now, though, is that nobody gives a damn what you're doing. Everybody's so busy living their own life, trying to figure out their own stuff right now. If you do something today Monday, you do something today on Monday, and it doesn't work by Wednesday, you're the only person who even realized it. Like, the news cycle today is short. You got to move, and you got to move fast. Last thing I'll say, and Lacey will drop this in the comments. My email, CodyGibson@kw.com. My Instagram, Cody Gibson 1, just the numeral 1 at the end. Please follow me there. I'm constantly putting out material. This has been a big deal for me to pivot to being able to teach a different way. I'm teaching more than I've ever taught. It's not as interesting. It's not as fun. Like, I'm staring at a camera. It's different, but it's what our industry needs. My mobile number is 907-529-5172. I never handed that thing out before, but I've handed it out during COVID because I know this. We're in a weird spot. I'm weird and you're weird. Like, that's where we are right now. It's just what it is. And if you're struggling with something and you want to send me a text or ask a question, man, I'm going to do everything I can to help you. Like, at KW, we're either going to walk through this together or we're not walking through it at all. And if that means you got to say, you know what, Code, I hear what you're saying, but this sucks right now. I just need to have a 5-minute funeral about it. I'll have a 5-minute funeral with you. I won't have a 5-month funeral with you. Those are two different things. But we're going to do this together or we're not doing it at all. There's never been a time in 20 years that I've needed people in my industry more than today. There's never been a time that you've needed people more than today. It doesn't mean that you've given up. It means that you've powered up. Those are two different things. So if I can help, man, I'm right here. We're in this thing together. So I hope you took something from this. I hope that you learned something from it. Check out my man, Martin Inman, I-N-M-A-N. Check him out online. I wish I could tell you the entire story, but he created a supper club during COVID that's housed on Facebook that in the course of 10 weeks, all during COVID, it's now climbed to almost 2,000 people in that database. And you could do the exact same thing, and you should. His Facebook that you'd want to look at is called the Socially Distanced Supper Club, North Atlanta Suburbs, which is really long, but that's for long tail marketing because he doesn't want you in it because you can't help him. He wants people in the North Atlanta suburbs. Anyway, check him out. Look at what he's doing. Go duplicate it. He's gone from 0 people in that database to 2,000 in 10 weeks. If you're not looking down and saying, here's what I've done because of COVID, you're missing your boat, man. Don't miss your boat. All right. I'm 8 minutes late. I'm so sorry that I'm late. If I can help you, you better reach out to me. We're going to get through it together. Have an amazing day. Thank you for the time.
Cody, thank you so much. I can't believe how many people have texted me and just, you got to have him back. You got to have him back.
Well, Lacey will put it together. I'd be happy to come back. We could do an hour. We could do more time. I just know today's time.
Ooh, I like this. All right. I'll get together with her. Thank you so much. You have a blessed day, Cody.
Bye, guys. Bye, Patty. It was good to see you on here.
All right, you guys. Was that amazing or what? I got to tell you, you can unmute yourself. I'm going to have to re-listen to this again because there were so many good nuggets, right? I can't hear you all. So So give me one of your nuggets here. I don't know who just talked. I just saw you wave. Do you have a nugget? Do you have something you want to share? What was like your favorite? Kathy just gave me thumbs up. I don't know why I don't know how to do that yet. But tell me something.
So
Tell
many.
me, guys.
Well, Kathy, one of the things I kind of got out of it was to what I learned that was positive from this COVID experience that I might want to keep for my business. And that's definitely true. Like some of the changes, that's kind of how I heard what he was saying too, is how to look at that.
Norm, right? It's the new norm.
It's the new norm. But there's been some really good things that have happened in my practice.
In your business, in your personal, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think when it comes to listings, I just had a listing, and because of COVID, I had people send in pre-approvals before I would even schedule a showing.
Right.
But what I might continue doing something like that, depending on what the seller wants, because it stresses the seller out to have so many showings. So if they know that they're not opening their door all the time and letting letting people in as looky-loos, it really reduces the stress. So I think there's been some good things I've learned.
Good, good. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. Anybody else want to share?
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
The thing I got, as the seasons change, so does the Gardner. Whoever thought of that, right? I mean, but that's exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah, there are so many good things. I just text Suzanne. I'm like, you need to watch this. You need to watch this a few times. Just 30 minutes. Oh my gosh. His
I couldn't write fast enough. One of the things that struck me in talking about, we always know that we're 90 days out. He said everything is 100 days out. 28 million homes skipped or postponed a rent or mortgage payment in July 2020.
Wow.
Which means that things are happening and things are going to change.
Yes.
That's amazing. Okay, so on that note, you guys, if I put something on our Facebook group, I'm gonna do it on the Central Valley so it hits everybody. I want you guys to chime in and write like whatever you got out of this. Like, that's a great point. That was huge, and we should be talking about that. Thank God for that foreclosure class, man. I don't know if you're not in there.
I am, yeah.
You better make sure you're in it again when it happens. I'm sure they'll be teaching it again, because I can't even believe how many people are texting me, and I'm like, hang up, because
real quick, Michele, I had text Michele when I was on the call. Cody Gibson's one of my favorite people to listen to, and the thing I got from him, what he said is about appraisals, which some of us, if we're experiencing any appraisal issues right now, whether it's a listing that you have or a buyer that you have, but how he said, I'm not an appraiser. My job is to look towards the future. I don't look back at the past. And I thought, oh my gosh, bam, like that was just such a big eye opener for me.
that one was good. That one's very, very good. So right there, write that down, Des, when I post something on Facebook about the meeting, please, because there was 43 of you guys at the most that I can see. So there's a lot of people who weren't able to go on. I did record this, so I'll go ahead and throw that out there. So as soon as I put the YouTube video on there, just put the comments. Go ahead, Patty. You had one more?
I have 4 pages of notes. So
I was talking too fast. I had to
I was writing as fast as I could. So just a few that stuck out because he just cracks me up. And of course, I know Cody a little more personally, so that's hilarious. Yes, it feels ridiculous, but this is reality. So I like that one because there's so many things in our business right now where you're like, what the heck? It's ridiculous. And yes, it's real. So deal with it and get over it and move on. I liked, he said, are you giving up or powering up?
I love that one.
Because when there's an obstacle, it's like, you have 2 choices, right? Either pity party or power up and find the solution. So I love that one. Let's see if this one jumps off the page. Ooh, I love the reset button. We're all brand new, baby. I don't care that I have 18 years in the business. Guess what? I'm learning daily how to shift, pivot, learn the environment of today, market of the moment. That's the term they're throwing around a lot, right? It's the market of the hour, market of the moment. I love the reset button concept because it's an even playing level no matter who's my competition at this time.
I love it. And then Kathy just It's posted, real estate is not for weenies. That is the truth, right? Oh my God, right. Thank you, Patty, for sharing. Thank you. Anybody else? Come on, there was a lot there in 33 minutes. Amazing. I will put this, go ahead, Kath. I meant Norma.
I was just going to say that whole thing of your business plan, just toss it out.
Yeah.
It's a 90-day plan written in pencil. It's basically week by week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it is. I feel that one right now. Yeah.
And we have to track our numbers, Norma. I mean, we should have done that regardless, because what did he say, really? To that note, it's, if you're not tracking it weekly, your lead lag measures, basically you don't know what's working if you don't track it. You could just be throwing stuff out there, trying stuff, but if you're not tracking the result, like what the activity is and the result of that activity, then you have no idea whether it's working or not in today's market.
Yes.
You want to know where that gap is. You have to know where that gap is. And the only way you know where that gap is if you're tracking. You got to track your closings, your projections, your contracts written, all of that. And where are they coming from? Where are they coming from? Is it solely sphere of influence? If so, is it the chamber? Is it your daughter's football or baseball? You know what I mean? Where is it truly coming from? And then, that money that you're spending and you're not getting the leads from, let it go. Cut it out. Wasn't that a movie? Yeah, I think so. George, you should be working twice as hard but expect less in return. Be tired. Ooh, that was good, George. Coming from the new father, he must be tired. Right? Oh my gosh. Yes. So yeah, be tired. I like that. You should be tired. I'm tired. This weekend all I did was command. It was amazing. Loved it. I have gotten so many leads off of command this weekend. I'm excited. I wish I was selling again. I'm like, maybe I will. No, joking. But anyways, okay. So what else shall we chat about? Anybody else want to chime in a little bit more on that? Or should we talk about listings? Should we talk about, I've got an idea. Livermore is doing a little ice cream drive-by, and I thought, how fun would that be? I don't know. I'll talk with the ALC about it on Wednesday, so maybe you guys could all just chime in. That's for Stockton Lodi Tracy, but I'm sure, Modessa will be doing something fun as well, and Manteca. But I just thought, let's do something fun. It's hot. I think drinks sometimes too. I don't know.
I like fruit cup. Yes, let's do something. I like it.
Yeah, right. Okay, so yeah, start thinking about that. Let your ALC know, and we could do something fun. Yeah. And then we have our listing contest that rolls through the 21st. Make sure you guys are watching on Facebook. We're posting the listing, the agents with listings, not the actual addresses. And we'll be drawing from a jar of some sort, names on the 22nd probably, 22nd, I'm thinking. Awesome. What else, you guys? It's 11:46. We have a few more minutes. Should we talk about the AC in Stockton? It's back, thank you, God. So that's good news. I wasn't going to go negative. It's good news. It's back. Yeah, no fun. All right. You guys, I want to respect your time. And if there's anything you want to chat about, anything else? I'm trying to think of what other guests we have coming up. We have, I do have somebody coming up. It's on, I remember what it is. I can just picture all the emails that are going out, but it's coming up in September. We do have the top 25 Mastermind coming up in September, and that will be on Zoom. However, we're going to shoot it out to Facebook land, and that's when people can ask questions. But the only people who are going to be masterminding is the top 25. And then others can ask questions and chime in. Because there's no way I can handle a Zoom with everybody on there. No way. It'll be challenging but fun. But I think that's the best way. Then we can just concentrate on the top 25. What else? I'm trying to think. There was one that's really, really good. Where is Janet? Janet, the guy who was on Gary Keller about the CEO. He was
Chris Suarez.
Yes, Chris Suarez. He's come to speak in September. Yeah. Aren't you glad I shared that with you because you guys aren't looking at my internet emails? And so that's September. In October, still working on something. But if there's somebody you want, you got to let me know. Or if there's something you need, you got to let me know or let the team know so we can make sure it happens. We do have our Inspiring Capper meeting on Wednesday with Barb and I. If you inspire to be a capper, come on in and let's chat. All right, you guys, make it a great week. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Bye.
Oh.
Bye. Thank you.